the conflict between law and psychology. As you see at the top there, some people call it more of a collision. They're very different, and this can create some problems, or let's just say some challenges when we're integrating the two, or when we're working. Both are working with each other. If you look here, psychology and the law, they're very different disciplines, and they approach problems in different kind of ways. Psychology is empirical based. It focuses on the aggregation of a number of pieces of information with conclusions that may shift across time as the research examines given questions from different perspectives. As a result, psychology accepts that change is likely in our pursuit of the truth, where the law, on the other hand, is more authoritative. The law is based on the principle of stare decisis, to let a previous decision stand. And this is the heart of law, where change is very difficult. Psychology is always shifting and changing. With the authoritative approach of the law, it shifts very little, and it takes a lot to make changes. Psychology is experimental. Experimentation through objective research, continuous research, which changes, but we try to be as objective as we can without bias, trying to eliminate bias. The law, on the other hand, is an adversarial process. Two opposing sides are assumed to use maximum effort to achieve victory. The truth will be revealed with two sides doing their best. This is very different than how clinical psychologists operate. And so when a clinical psychologist is working in a forensic environment, they have to be used to this adversarial process. They have to get training to be proficient at it. Not every clinical psychologist can step into the arena of the law and serve as an expert witness proficiently if they're not used to the adversarial process and not aware of it. Psychology is descriptive. It describes human behavior, where the law is much more prescriptive. It dictates or prescribes how humans should behave, much different than just simply describing the human behavior. Psychologists is nomothetic. The aggregate or broad theories can be generalized to a number of instances, where the law is more ideographic, focuses on an individual case or a specific pattern or facets, rather. In psychology, we're talking about probabilities and the likelihood of a given event occurring. In the law, certainty attempts to be certain. A defendant is either guilty or non-guilty. Evidence is admissible or it's inadmissible. So you can see they're very different, and often it's a struggle to integrate the two. But that's what we seek to do in forensic psychology, and do the best we can with that. Education and training in forensic psychology. How do I become a forensic psychologist? Graduate school. You're going to have to obtain a master's degree, and more beneficial would be a doctorate degree. So you can work in forensic psychology with a master's degree. In fact, I've known plenty of folks that are they're licensed professional counselors. They're clinical social workers, and they become proficient. They get training in forensic psychology. They work with local lawyers, local judges, and become expert witnesses, and do depositions, and provide expert witness in different types of cases, or expert opinions, rather. And they can do very well. Actually, it's lucrative. People can make really good money in forensic psychology. So there's advantages and disadvantages. With a doctorate degree, I think just having a PhD or a doctor of psychology gives you more influence. It as an expert witness, it definitely, in and of itself, will add to your credentials. In most jurisdictions, the title of psychologist is reserved for those with a doctorate, not a master's degree. Correct. You can be a clinical social worker with a master's degree from a prestigious program, but you're still not considered a psychologist. In order to become a psychologist, you have to have you basically have to have that title within that state. In other words, you have to have a license to practice as a psychologist, which requires in Louisiana a PhD or a doctorate of psychology or a doctorate degree. So it says most people in forensic psychology obtain a doctorate in psychology. If you're going to make a career out of forensics and you're not going to do as much clinical work in psychology, but you want to use that more in a forensic environment, yes, getting a doctorate degree would probably be most beneficial. So there's different types of training programs. You have joint degree programs. You can earn a degree in both law and psychology. And some of there's some links that I put up for this module that'll take you to different programs in different states, and a lot of them offer joint degree programs. Specialty programs receive specialty training in forensic psychology specifically. So you can get a master's in forensic psychology, you can get a doctorate in forensic psychology. General programs offer broad training with minimal opportunity for specialization in forensic psychology. In fact, a lot of people out there practicing got their masters, or they got their PhDs, or doctorate of psychology, which is a PsyD, in clinical psychology. But they then, once they're licensed, they start getting training and professional training opportunities and working in forensic environments. That gives them credibility, that gives them opportunity as well. So you don't necessarily have to have a PhD in forensic psychology. You could have a PhD or a master's in clinical psychology and still practice in this field. Because honestly, when you get out there, once you have your license, the experience you get both in clinical psychology or in forensic, that's going to develop your resume and give you the opportunities. Levels of forensic training: a legally informed clinician basically is educated in fundamental forensic ideas. That's the entry level. Proficient would be receive specialized training in forensic psychology. So somebody has a master's or PhD in forensic psychology is considered more of a proficient clinician. Specialist clinician: integrated experiences designed to train forensic psychologists. Much more knowledge of the law, use of the law, ability to work within legal systems is a specialist clinician. Forensic psychology training: some of the proposed training in several specific areas. At a minimum, substantive psychology, research design, methodology, and statistics, where we have the ability to conduct assessments and using a lot of the assessment tools out there, conducting research, legal knowledge, integrative law psychology knowledge, ethics and professional issues, and then clinical forensic training. All these seem to be key areas that were proposed. Careers in forensic psychology: they can work in correctional facilities, they can work in state hospitals, law enforcement agencies, state and federal government agencies, community mental health centers, juvenile detention centers, private practice, colleges and universities. They're in all these different areas. And specializing forensic psychology, there are many different areas that you can specifically specialize in. I have a friend, and she solely works on custody issues, and she works with family law, and she's very good at what she does. She's considered a local expert in custody evaluation cases, where she's called on to provide her opinion and expertise. That kind of summarizes gives us some insight into what forensic psychology is. So we'll pick back up in Module 2.